Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Veda and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to maintain a simplified financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Well, welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today's video is going to be a budget with me for my Etsy and YouTube paychecks for the month of June. And actually with YouTube, just to give you a little bit of background info, the paycheck that I received from YouTube in the month of June was actually for May's revenue. So it's always calculated from the month before and then you're paid the next month. So that's how that works. But because I get paid from it in June, it is considered June income, not May income. So I'm just going to jump right into it because this could end up being a little bit more lengthy. So I'm just going to grab my budget planner here. My budget planner is available in my Etsy shop as a printable version, a printed version, meaning I print and ship it to you. And I also have available an annual digital one that you can upload into a notes app. So if you're interested in any of those things, my Etsy shop is always listed below, and I am having a 4th of July sale this Thursday. The entire shop is going to be 15% off. So let me just go back to June. So for those of you who don't know, maybe if you're new around here, I ran a sale in my Etsy shop for almost the entirety of the month of June. So this is unusual pay for me as far as Etsy is concerned, but I am going to show you how we budget it. So what I do whenever I am going to budget out my Etsy pay, I actually print out an extra monthly funding plan. So this monthly funding plan is available in my budget planner. And so what the idea of this is, if you're the type of person who budgets for an entire month at a time, and you want to map out how you're going to go ahead and fund each category from week to week, this is what I use this page for, because my husband and I just do the budget for the entire month, and then I break it down by week, basically just so that I have content for you guys, because he's paid bi-weekly, but I post a cash stuffing every single week. So that's what I use this page for, but I also use it for my Etsy shop, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So I use this, and I use my paycheck planners, which I'll also show you. I'm just going to pull this out and put it off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in now that I have all the pages out that I need, and we'll get started on the budget. Okay, so here we go. So I actually don't use the monthly funding plan until the very end. It just kind of helps me gather up all of the pay in all the different paychecks in one place so that I know what I need to pull from the bank. What I do use is my paycheck plan. So in my budget planner, I have a monthly budget overview, where if you're a person like me who budgets everything in the month, you can utilize that. And then I have 5 of these paycheck plans if you're the type of person who just budgets by paycheck. And then I use my paycheck plans strictly for my Etsy and YouTube income. So I'm just going to jump right into it here. My first Etsy paycheck for the month of June came in on the 4th. I don't know if I have the dates for all of them, but I will put this one for you. So this one came in on the 4th, and it was a total... So Etsy one, it was a total of $37.65. Now, if you guys know anything about me, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you may have seen I did a budget with me every single week for the month of April with my Etsy paycheck. And when I tell you, I really do budget the $37. To me, there's just no other way of doing it. I like to try to stick to my percentages and my goals and things like that. I did deviate a little bit this week though, and I will explain why. So first up, I always have to pull taxes out myself. Etsy and YouTube both are untaxed income, and we pull 25%. That seems to have worked for us. And so that was a total of $9. And then out of my first Etsy pay of every single month, I set aside money for my Canva Pro membership. And so that is $10 a month that I need to save in order to be able to pay for my annual Canva Pro account, which is like $120 a year. And so the total from this section is $19. Now, as far as this change is concerned, this 65 cents, I'm just going to go over, actually, let me make sure that's in frame. I don't want to be out of frame. I'm just going to go over here. So anytime we have change that we get paid, I throw that right into our emergency fund. We are currently saving up 6 months of expense. I drew a blank there. We're currently saving up 6 months of expenses. I usually have a goal of at least 10% of the pay to go into the emergency fund, but this time I nixed it because it was a higher priority to me to get materials funded. And so I literally just gave our emergency fund the 65 cents from up here. That may seem silly to some of you, but every cent adds up, and eventually it helps all snowball into a bigger emergency fund, and that's what we are here for. So this section is 65 cents. And then, hold on, let me see. So $37.65 minus the $19 and minus the 65 cents left me with $18. And I decided to just put that all into materials because I knew that I was going to use a ton of materials for my Etsy shop sale in the month of June. And I was right. I mean, I'm still kind of coming back from that because I used so many materials in the month of June. So that's the total for this section. And that budgeted, I always do a zero-based budget with every paycheck that we get. And that zeroed out this paycheck in its entirety. So $37.65 broke down to $9 in taxes, $10 for Canva, $18 for materials, and 65 cents in our emergency fund. And again, it may not seem like much, but it really does add up. So now we're going to move on to my Etsy paycheck number 2 for the month of June. Let me see if I actually wrote the date down on that one. I did not. So it was probably the 11th. So 6/11/24. And my total pay from this week jumped up considerably from the week before. It was $1,412, or I'm sorry, no, $1,421. I just transposed that in my brain. So $1,421.55. And as always, the very first people who get paid are the US government. And so we've got to take the taxes off the top. And taxes is 25%. That never changes for us. And so they got a total of $355. Next up, I'm going to move us over into the sinking fund section because this is the most elaborate of the section. So my standard for nearly every Etsy paycheck, materials gets 15%. Equipment and shipping supplies both get 5%. And so that came out to $215 for materials and then $72 each for equipment and shipping supplies. Now, if you watched my June budget with me, what we've decided to do since I lost my job, I was let go because it was very, very slow business, like unseasonably slow for them. And, I was the last one hired, and so I was the first one let go. What we've decided to do is to supplement our main budget with my side income. And so if you go ahead and watch my June budget with me, you'll see all of these categories that I am going to list here, and the gold amounts that we have, and I'll show you like how we work that out. So home maintenance was one of the ones that we wanted to supplement. And we also wanted to supplement medical, clothes, dine out, back to school. I'm just going to write school here, and vacation. So these were the high priorities for us to supplement from my Etsy and YouTube paychecks. And our goal for the entire month from these categories was $50 from home maintenance, $25 each from medical and clothes, $20 to dine out, $20 to back to school, and $50 to vacation. Now, what I would ordinarily do, this paycheck was substantial, and so I was able to hit the goal for each of these categories within this paycheck. But what I do, I make a note of this, because if for whatever reason the paycheck is a little bit smaller than this, I'll put next to it what I'm actually going to budget for it in that paycheck, so that I know what the original amount was, so that in my next Etsy paycheck plan, I could just go ahead and subtract what I've actually budgeted for it from what my goal budget was for it. And so that's why I put it in this category. But in this case, I was able to fund each of these just with this paycheck alone, because so many of my orders came in my first week of my Etsy sale. So that's what they're all getting. They're all getting the gold amount for the month. And then because we, had some, I'm sorry. The next thing that I had to supplement actually was our emergency fund. So what I did here was I needed to supplement it $152.76. But since we have 55 cents up here, I just did $152.55, because I also, if you remember from Etsy week 1, I gave it the 65 cents. So I knew that we had reached our goal. We needed to supplement our emergency fund. Our goal is to put $2,000 a month toward it. And with our main budget, we were putting somewhere around $1,800. And so this was the remaining amount in order to get us up to $2,000 for the month of June. And so I budgeted $152.55. But the other thing that I did, because there's money remaining after this and all of these sinking funds and this, I took the remaining amount. So here, so this was $355. Let me add up this section up here. So 215, 72, 72, 50, 25, 25, 20, 20, and 50. So that's $549, and then here, let me just $549. So if I add up the $355, the $549, and the $152.55, that comes out to $1,056.55, and I got $1,421.55. So 1421.55. So that left me with a remainder of $365. So then what I do next is I just put remaining so I don't forget the number, and $365. And so then what I was going to do was split up the rest of this money among other categories that I wanted to supplement with this pay. Give me one sec. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was still filming. So what I did from that actually is took another I took 10% of that for the emergency fund because we really want to bulk that one up. And so that came out to $36. And then the other categories, I just kind of split it based on what felt good to me. So house project got some, and his and hers, that's my husband and I's spending money, and dates, and home decor. Okay, so what I did, I don't even remember if I took a percentage of this or if I just kind of put numbers at everything and then fleshed it all out afterward. But what I decided to do, I think that's what I did actually. I did $50 for his and hers, another $50 for dates, $25 for home decor, and then whatever was left, which was $154, is what I put at house project. And these things, with the exception of the emergency fund, these things are considered non-essentials, but since the pay was so substantive this week, I put some money at the non-essentials because everything is important. It just has an order of importance, but I just wanted to make sure that we got some funding for those things as well. So that was my Etsy paycheck for the second week of June. For the third week of June, we went to, let's see. Sorry, I was like struggling on that one. The Etsy pay this week, so this is Etsy 3, and it was $553.73. And again, first up is taxes. Taxes gets 25%. And that was $138. And then we kept it relatively simple this week. So we did materials. And materials I bumped up a little bit because I kept needing to purchase more as I was going along and making more products. And so I bumped it up a little bit this particular pay. So we've got materials, equipment, and shipping supplies. And it was 20% and 5% each respectively. And so that came out to $110 for materials, $28 each for equipment and shipping supplies. And then what I did this week was I prioritized a lot going toward house project because we are still working toward little projects around our house that are important enough to us to do while we're still saving up our emergency fund, but they're not something that we're funneling a lot of money toward at the moment. But I wanted to put 20% toward it this week as well. And so that's what I did. So it was $110. And then I went down to emergency fund, and emergency, struggling to spell today, gets 10%. And so that was a total of $55, but then I add the change from up here, so it's $55.73. Then I broke it down into, we've got his and hers again, and home decor, dates, and then I decided to give household and toiletries a bump because from those, you just never know when the spending is gonna come up. And so I wanted to supplement it a little bit, as well as medical. Medical was another one that got a little bump with this week's check. And so how I broke this down was $10 for his and hers, which I just kind of chose outright, as well as the home decor, I gave it $5. Dates, I gave $10, and household and toiletries, I gave $15 each. Because they really benefit from a nice little bump every now and then. And then whatever was left over, I put at medical, and that was $19. And so that is the entirety. All $553.73 is what is in this pay, or was what's in this breakdown. Last up is Etsy week 4 for June. Oh, hold on, I lost my page. There we go. But it was also the week that I got paid from YouTube. So I incorporated both of those into this check. So we've got the YouTube pay that came in for the month of May's revenue, but I got paid in June, was $184.99. And then my Etsy week 4 pay was $209.29. And so that adds up to, so $184.99 plus $209.29 is $394.28. $394.28. So how I do this though, to make sure that this is just how my brain works for things. So obviously, like, you could just be like, why don't you just budget this total amount here? I actually budget differently depending on the paycheck. So I do everything separately. So for taxes, I have 2 different categories, and I just put a Y next to one and then an E next to the other. And so the taxes for YouTube were $46. And the taxes, oh, it's 25% for both of them, by the way. So 25%. And the taxes for Etsy were $52. Then from my YouTube paycheck is where I pay my P.O. box from. And that is also something that I have to fund once a month, but it only comes out of my account every 6 months. And that was a total of $18. And then I put my Etsy priority things here just so that I have enough space over here for the variety of other sinking funds. So materials, I decided to fund exclusively this week because, again, I really needed to make up for all the materials that I was going through. And so I gave it the entire, instead of doing some for shipping supplies and some for equipment, I did the entire 25% here for materials. And so it got $52 just from the Etsy pay, not from the YouTube pay. So it was $52. So the total of this section is 46, 52, 18, and 52. And that is $168. Okay, and then moving over here, same with, oh wait, can you guys see that? Same with savings. So I just write YouTube and Etsy down here because I know that this is for the emergency fund. And I take 10% from both of them. And so what it came out to for YouTube was $19.27. And what it came out to for Etsy was $20.29. And then I move up to my sinking funds here. So on the YouTube spectrum, I have a YouTube envelope and it funds a variety of different things, but giveaways and just different things that I might use for my channel. And that one got $32 this time. And then I broke it down into a couple different low priority sinking funds. So we've got his and hers. We've got house project, dates, family fun, and that's that. Wait, that doesn't look right. Oh, I forgot dine out. Okay, and so like I mentioned, YouTube got $32, and then I gave 10 each to me and my husband. House project got 20. Dates got 10. Oh, actually, dates, family fun, and dine out all got 10. I usually try to split those as evenly as I can whenever possible. And so this finished out my YouTube paycheck for the month of June. The rest of what I did for Etsy, oops, that didn't transfer, was house project. Because it's exclusively funded now from side income, it gets probably a little bit more than I would put toward it regularly. But I really do want to get some of these things done around the house. So Yeah, so I'm doing house project, his, hers, home decor, and dates. And house project got 20. His and hers got 15 each. Home decor also got 15. And dates got 20. So let me go ahead and add these up. So we had 32, 10, 10, 20, 30, 20, 15, 15, 15, 20. So the total from this section is 187. 187, and then down here, 19, 27 plus 20, 29, it's 39.56. Okay, and then let me add all of those up. So 39.56 plus 187 plus 168, and that is 394. Oh, 56. Interesting. Did I put that right? Maybe I added that wrong. Oh, do you know why? Because it wasn't 184.99. It was 184. It was oh my goodness. It was 185.27. See, I added, I was like, wait, that can't be right. 185.27 plus 394.28 is, that's not right. 185.27 plus 209.29, 394.56. 394.56. Now let's try this one more time. 168 plus 187 plus 39.56 is 394.56. So that was our total up there. I messed up the YouTube one. And so that was it for all 4 weeks of Etsy and the once a month pay that I get from YouTube. And so now I'm going to show you guys what I do at the end of the month so that I can prep for my Etsy and YouTube cash stuffing. So this is where my monthly funding plan comes in, and it's really this simple. So I just go ahead and write out all of the categories that I fund with my Etsy and YouTube paychecks. Let me just grab, I do have a little cheat sheet off to the side here because makes it easier than doing it the way that I was originally going to do it. So, okay, so this is how I have it done. Okay, so I decided to just speed you guys through that because you don't want to sit here and watch me write out all of the categories that you already saw me writing out. So I leave the amount here blank because I have to go through every single week and then put in what I did for each week. So I always do it like this. This is how I use my monthly funding plan sheet. So I do the income source up here. So it's Etsy one, just so I know to keep everything straight. And it was, the total pay here was $37.65. And this is how I broke it down into all the different categories. So $9 went to taxes, $10 went to Canva, $18 went to materials, and then all the way down here in emergency, it got 65 cents. And I just will put a line through everything else because nothing else got funded that week because the pay was so low. Everybody knew that my sale was happening the following week, so they waited to buy from my shop for when everything went on sale, which is the smartest thing to do. But yeah, so then, you know, I also do this so that I have the total up here and so that I can go back and triple check myself by making sure that all of this adds up to $37.65, which it does because I've already done this off camera. And then what I do for or I just move on to the next week. So the next week was Etsy 2. The pay was $1,421.55. And I do the same exact thing. So I just go through each category. So taxes got $355. Materials, Canva is done for actually the rest of the month. So I'll just put a line through that. Materials got $215. Equipment got $72. Shipping supplies got $72. Home maintenance got $50. Medical got $25. Clothes got $25. Dine out got $20. School got $20. Vacation got $50. And then his got $50. Hers got $50. We've got home decor that got $25. The updates got $50. Did House Project get anything? Oh yeah, $154. Peel Box didn't get anything, and I don't think Family Fun did either, nor did YouTube. The emergency fund got actually a combo, so it was a $152.55 plus the $36 here. So House Project got, I'm sorry, emergency got $188.55. $188.55, and household and toiletries were not funded this week either. Moving on to the third Etsy pay, and I'm actually just going to zoom you guys through this as well because now you have an idea of how I'm using this page, but I do just want to get to the end so I can show you how all the totals add up. So I'm just going to zoom you guys through this. So this is what I do from here on out because this is what helps me determine what I'm going to go ahead and actually pull from Etsy. So the totals up here were $37.65 plus $14.21.55 plus $553.73 plus $394.56. So that was a total of, I'm going to write it over here, $2,407.49 for the month of June. And so what I do then is add up all of the amounts and I put them here so that I know what I'm pulling for each category. So the total for taxes came out to $600. The total for Canva was just the $10. Materials total was $395. Equipment and shipping supplies were both $100. Oh my gosh, this is driving me nuts. I got these pens from Target because I thought they were cute, and they are, and they're soft touch, which is really nice, but they're actually terrible pens. Like, they don't write very well. They skip ink a lot. Home maintenance was a total of $50. Medical was $44. Clothes was $25. Let me move this up so I can make sure you guys can see. Dine out is $30. Back to school is $20. Vacation is $50. Oops. Oh my goodness. His and hers each get $85. Home decor is getting $45. Dates is getting $90. House project is getting $304. The P.O. box just gets its monthly $18. Family fun, where did that go? It was just a total of $10. YouTube is getting $32. Our emergency fund totaled up to $284. Oh my goodness, I cannot. $284.49. And household and toiletries each just got $15. Oh my gosh, this pen is driving me nuts. And this is it. So this is what I do. From here, I just go ahead and do my denomination breakdown for each of these, with the exception of The emergency fund, we don't cash stuff that one. That one just goes right into our high yield savings account because we are trying to earn as much interest as possible, because the interest also rolls into the high yield savings account. So it's just building on itself, which is very, very helpful. But everything else I will be stuffing. And so that is going to be on Thursday. You'll see me do this cash stuffing. But then I just do the denomination breakdown. I write out my teller slip, I take it to the bank, and I pull out all this cash. After I've added all of this up to make sure that it adds up to the total that I received for the month, which I know that it did, because again, I did this beforehand. But this is what it looks like for me every single month. This is how I break this down. Like I've mentioned before, I do stay pretty loyal to the percentages that I set out to do for each category if I have percentages for them. So like my materials, my equipment, taxes, always, you have to stay loyal to that or the government will come after you. And then like the emergency fund. But everything else I just kind of play with and finagle the numbers around depending on what our needs are for that month. So that's it. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me go ahead actually and zoom you guys out, and then we'll finish the video. All right, so like I said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that it also gave you a little bit of insight into other ways that you can use the different pages in my budget planner. I always think that it's nice if you have something that's multi-purpose that you've spent money on. And this is one of those things where it's not necessarily designed for this purpose, but it functions really well in a situation like this. You can even use it like this for your own budgeting purposes. If you budget by paycheck, maybe you only stuff once a month, but even if you stuff once a week, you can go ahead and use the monthly funding plan for this, because it really helps to kind of contain everything in one place, so you can see what your income is for the month, and you can see what you're stuffing for the month in each category. So that's why, I was also excited to kind of showcase this for you guys as well, so that you could see how I use it. But if you enjoyed this video, I would love it so much if you would give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. And like I mentioned, I will be back with you here on Thursday. I know it's the 4th of July, so, but if you watch it, you watch it. I'll be back on Thursday with the actual cash stuffing for this Etsy paycheck for the month of June, Etsy and YouTube. But until then, I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. Remember that I will be also running a sale in my shop on July 4th. So take advantage of that if there's something in my shop that you have been eyeing up and wanted to catch a sale for it. And I hope that you guys have a safe and wonderful and happy 4th of July. And I will see you back here on Thursday. Bye, everyone.